Hey guys, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com. Hope you're having a great day. Today I want to share with you how a 30-minute mix I did for a client beat out a 3-hour mix. Okay, so here's the story. I tweeted about this a while back. I had a client, hired me for single, just one mix, one song, and I mix remotely. Okay, so this is the way I work. Typically, someone hires me because they listen to my portfolio, they listen to some of the songs that I've done, and they either like my style, or they like my taste, or they like the artists that I've mixed before. And so that we get in touch, we go back and forth, and I actually get the multi-tracks and a little bit of vision, some notes about, hey, this is kind of where I'm thinking I want to go with this. These are some artists that I like, etc., etc. You have the freedom to do whatever, or if they have a specific request, they'll make those notes made. Then I do a mix and I put it up for them to review. So this is what I did. I mixed the song for the client. Mix 1 was up. Now I always allow for revisions, not endless revisions, but at least 2 more rounds because they're not mixing with me. They need to hear my initial take on the song, my initial vision for what they gave me, and then of course they're going to want to listen to it on multiple speakers and listen to it for a day or two, and then tell me what they really like and then what they want some tweaks on, and we'll make adjustments from there, and then we'll rinse and repeat probably one more time. And then we usually get to mix 3, mix 4, we're happy, we're ready to move on. I get the mix notes back from said client, and they go something like this. I'm really confused about this mix. I don't like anything about it. It doesn't sound professional. So I email back and say, hey, can you clarify what you mean you don't like anything about the mix? It doesn't sound professional. Give me specifics. What is it you don't like? And if you will, let me know what elements of the mix you do like so I can know what was resonating with you and do more of that. I get an email back from the client. Just didn't like anything you did. This didn't sound at all like I was hoping it would sound. I want it to sound professional. I want it to sound like my mix or my rough tracks, but better. Okay, so as frustrating as that is to hear, because generally that's not the case, there's always tweaks that need to be made. I've never delivered, maybe once I delivered a mix where a client was like, I like everything about it, don't change a single thing. That's not usually the case. I'm used to changing it, we go back and forth, we work together, we're a team. Never have I had a client say, I don't like anything you did. Not even in the ballpark, okay? So major problem here. At this point, I'm deflated because if there's nothing that I did that the client liked, then it makes me wonder a couple of things. Should he have hired me? Should I have chosen to work with him? Did I misread him as an ideal client? Did we not communicate clearly enough about what his vision is, what my vision is? So here's what went down. He basically sends me the tracks again and says, look, here's my rough mix. You know, he already had it in Pro Tools. I want you to just take this mix and enhance it. And I said, you know what? Fine, let's do something completely different. I wiped the slate clean. I started from scratch, deleted everything I'd done. I'd already spent about 3-4 hours on mix 1. Obviously, he didn't like anything about that mix, so I wasn't even on the right page. Open up the session, look at the faders where he's got them, take a listen again to his rough mix, and I decided to set a timer for 30 minutes to see if I couldn't get it a lot closer to what he's saying he wants in 30 minutes. Set the timer, start going. Just using basic EQ, basic compression, just trying to sculpt sounds, clean up sounds, bring out the best parts, fix the bad parts, use compression to just sort of dial in things that are a little all over the place, push things up in the mix a little bit, get the vocals to sit right where he wants. And I'm flipping back and forth between the rough and my new version, but I'm just flying with this. I'm trying not to overthink it. I'm just trying to take what he gave me and build on it just a little bit. 30 minutes are done. It sounds good to me, but I don't want to spend any more time on it because I'm still not sure if I'm even in the right ballpark with him. So I fire off this mix 2. Say, hey, take a listen to this, tell me if this is closer. Gets back with me and says, this is perfect. Maybe change this one thing. I go and change it. He comes back and says, nope, never mind, put it back to the way it was. Perfect. So in essence, my 30-minute mix, where I just mixed quickly, I didn't overthink it, and I did as little as possible to the mix, that won out over my 3-4 hour mix 1, which would have probably been a 5-6 hour mix in the end. It won over that mix where I did a lot of tweaking, had a lot of creative elements, really beefed up things, fattened things up, mixed things the way I thought they needed to be mixed. He didn't like that at all. The 30-minute mix won out. Real fast, real simple, minimal plugins. A couple takeaways from this experience that I've learned and I want to pass on to you so you won't make all the same mistakes that I'm making. Number one, this client, as talented as he was, and as much as I liked the song, which is why I wanted to work on it, probably wasn't my ideal client. Now, I talk about this with my students, especially in the Audio Income Project, that you don't really want to work with people that aren't your ideal client. There's nothing wrong with the client. It's just, is that client a good match for you? Now, there's a lot of things you can do to match up the right client. The biggest thing you can do is post your work online and give a wide variety of what you feel is your best work that represents you as a mixer, so that these people can take a listen to it and say, you know, I don't really like the drum sounds he gets. Then they probably won't even work with you. Or I don't really like where the vocals sit in his mixes. Or his mixes are too bright or they're too dark or whatever. That allows them to say yes or no before you even have to interact with them. They don't even have to approach you if they don't like your work. But we had done that too. I had a feeling that this would be a stretch for me, and that's kind of why I wanted to do it as a challenge for me, but I should have done more communicating with this client, specifically because he was out of my ideal client comfort zone, and could have said, look, I really like this song, I really like your style, this is how I would probably approach it. Give me an idea of how far you want me to take this mix, because I'm not really sure where your head's at. Usually with my ideal clients, we're on the same page because we've already established that before they even hire me. So I was working outside of my ideal client, and the other thing was, as I took the song, and what I identified as weaknesses, what I identified as things that needed a lot of work, and I went to work on them, I didn't take a real minimal approach to it. I really worked hard on sculpting and building out a massive sound. I felt that some of the tracks I got needed a lot of enhancement, and in the end, what the client wanted was exactly what he gave me, but just slightly better. He wanted my take on it, he wanted some clarity, he wanted some width, he wanted a little bit of energy and punch, but really, my mix versus his rough mix isn't that much different. I think mine's better, that's why he hired me, but it's not that much different than what he gave me. And that's a huge part of mixing, right? The secrets of mixing isn't changing the mix, it's balancing the mix. In my mind, this needed a lot more work than just balancing, but the client's mind, which is the correct mind, he didn't want much else. He liked what he had, he just wanted it enhanced a little bit. And in the end, my 30-minute mix gave him exactly that. So, next time you're working with a client or a friend, or you're starting to mix for other people, don't assume you're going to do as much as possible to the mix. Assume you want to do as little as possible to the mix, and just follow the mix. Let the mix dictate where it goes. You don't have to change every sound. Even the sounds that you feel like are really lacking, use what you got, enhance what's there, and work off of that. The other final lesson to this whole shebang, and I do this with my own music, and I find this and I talk about this all the time, and a lot of people disagree with me, which is really, really funny, is the more you mix and the more hours you spend on mixing, the more I find I can get off track. And it's proven over and over again that the shorter amount of times I give myself to mix, two things happen. One, I get more focused, so I do the important things and I don't get lost on tangents over tweaking a kick drum or a background vocal. And then number two, I work with intentionality and purpose because I feel the pressure, and it makes me think, what does this song really need? And I think more like a listener and less like an engineer. And that's really important because at the end of the day, we're making music. We're not creating a science project. We want people to hear the song and be moved by it. And so you want to think like a listener and just feel the music and just tweak what the song needs to get you to feel it and be in it and enjoy it more like a listener. Hope that helps, guys. Again, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com. Subscribe to the videos. Thank you for everyone who subscribes. That way you'll get instant access to the next video when it goes live. And if you're not on the mailing list, got a bunch of awesome goodies. If you sign up there, you'll get some free ebook action, a lot of great tips and stuff that I don't post anywhere else. And of course, you'll know up-to-date news on everything that's happening at The Recording Revolution. Go make some great music. I'll talk to you guys soon.